Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hey everybody, Aaron Newcomb here with another review. This is going to be the review of the Swann Doorphone Video Intercom. It's a pretty cool little product. I'll tell you a little bit more about it, but let's start with how much it costs, actually. So this on Amazon currently right now, it's $119. And you can actually get that on Amazon Prime if you're an Amazon Prime customer. But this is an electronic doorbell, if you will. And it has a little video camera that goes, this gets mounted on your door. And then this part gets mounted inside your house somewhere. And when someone comes up and presses the doorbell, you get a little video screen to show them, to show you who's at the door. So it can be incredibly useful. It's certainly a lot better than looking through that little peephole. And like I said, it's $119. Here's what comes in the box, just in case you're curious. You get some nice mounting hardware and screws to connect everything together. Those are not very interesting. You also get this little, guarantee and some stickers. You can put on your window or whatever. It says protected by Swann. I don't know if this is really protecting you at all, but it's a nice little ad that they threw that in there. The other thing that you get, of course, is essentially 4 other things. So you get the doorbell, the piece of the doorbell that with the camera and the thing that you press here. You also get this lovely monitor that you mount inside your home. And it has a speaker, and it doesn't have a camera on this end, so the person at the door can't see you. You can just see them, which is kind of good if you're in your pajamas or underwear or whatever. And then you get this really bulky, I don't know how many feet this is, like 50 feet or something of cable to connect the two. And the connections are pretty simple, actually. If you look on the back of both of these devices, if you've ever done hooked up a sprinkler system or something like that in your house, this will be very familiar to you, very easy. Essentially, the connections are numbered 1 through 4, and you hook up the 4 cables here, and then you hook up the corresponding 4 cables on this side, 1 through 4, and then there's a little power adapter. That's the 4th thing, by the way, that I didn't mention before, is the power adapter. The power adapter just plugs into that slot, and then you mount these on the wall. I think the most difficult thing for people that are looking to implement something like this is it will require you to drill through your wall at some point, right? You're going to have to feed this through your wall. That's the most difficult thing. I guess you could probably try to get this through a window. Maybe you could kind of hide the cable through some cable raceway or something on your wall, going through a window and then back inside if you wanted to. That would be the easy way. But I think for most people, they're going to want to drill this through your wall and maybe hang this right on the door. So that's the only difficulty I see with getting this installed. Otherwise, once you hook it up, once you hook up the cables and power up the system, you're essentially good to go. So someone would come up like this to the doorbell. They would hit the doorbell. You can see it's pretty loud. It's going to actually just pop right up on your screen so you can answer it. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see. Oh, there we go. That's me. And then if I wanted to answer it, I would just press the talk button. Let me bring it back down and do that. And you can hear it's gonna complain because I've got the two so close together. I don't know if you can hear that, but it actually is picking up my voice. So I can say hello, anybody there? And then they can hear that on the outside. I'm gonna hang up now because that's annoying. And but that's essentially how it works. So someone will come up, hit the doorbell. The other nice thing about this, I guess it's nice if you're into chimes, it comes with like 25 different chimes. So if you press the little button on the side, by the way, there's also controls for contrast, color saturation, and volume. The little button on the side picks which chime it actually rings when you press it. So let's go ahead and press it. That's the one that's on right now. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. It's really annoying. Oh yeah, that's annoying. So basically all the rings that are in here are annoying. They do have some for Christmas, which is nice. They have a couple Christmas ringtones, but the rest of the ringtones are pretty annoying. But hey, at least you have a choice. It's not just the ding dong, the normal ding dong thing. So that's it. That's the Swann Doorphone Video Intercom. So let's talk about pros and cons. The pros, fairly simple componentry here. You got the screen, you got the doorbell. You don't have to mess with any extra parts. Price, I think this is actually a good price, $119. for what you get here, that's really good. I was trying to cost this out for a do-it-yourself Raspberry Pi implementation. As everyone knows, I love to do it-yourself projects at home and make things. And I was trying to do this with the Raspberry Pi, and it's going to come out to about the same price, especially when you factor in the cost of the case, the cost of the small TFT display, and by the time you add everything that you need, plus it's going to be difficult to get the audio. There's no mic input by default in the Raspberry Pi. So to get the audio and the video and everything, it's actually going to be a little bit more than $120 to do that all yourself. So this is actually a fairly easy and cost-effective project, I think, for someone to put together. The cons, as I mentioned before, you've got all this cabling to worry about. You have to run this cable through the walls. That means you're going to have to drill it into your wall and stuff. Some people cosmetically may not like that. And certainly, if you're not necessarily a do-it-yourself kind of person, that's going to be the only downside, really. So in the end, I think this is a pretty good project, both for price and complexity. And if you're looking for something like this to put in your home, I would definitely say buy it. That's my recommendation. I'm Aaron Newcomb. Thanks for watching.